What's up, guys? Welcome back to Golf Simulator Videos. We're back today with the UNEEKOR Eye Mini, and I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of fun with the unit. We've only had it for less than 24 hours, and it's really been an enjoyable experience so far. If you guys haven't seen that first look video with the unboxing and everything, make sure you check that out. All right, I'll put a link down in the description. But today we're going to show you guys the integration with GSPRO, and specifically we're going to show you a lot of examples of chipping and putting. So it was cool to see some people comment, some suggestions, and some emails come over, and I probably had more about chipping and putting than anything else, so I figured that would probably be the best video to cover, you know, as a follow-up first, and of course we'll continue to do more and more. We're out here at Quail Hollow. This is a course that just got released recently. The integration, I do want to talk about real quick, that with that new launcher software that I showed in that first look video, you basically launch View right from there. All right, and then you're going to launch GSPRO. View sends the data right to GSPRO. It's a seamless integration. All right, I know that GSPRO is touching up a few things before they push out this final release. This is actually a beta if you're looking in the upper right, but they're just fine-tuning that and it should be good to go from there. But I'm here to demonstrate this for you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm out at 17 because I thought it was a cool hole to maybe show a couple example shots, you know, full shots. I'm going to grab a 9-iron, 143 yards, and it's 11 feet downhill. So, I mean, this is a short 9-iron for me. I'm going to try to, you know, work that little fade, get some distance taken off of a 9-iron, you know, carry it in the 130s, hopefully. Oh, I pushed that one right. All right, well, that'll give me an idea. That's not terrible. I mean, it's a little push. I think that was the right idea, though, with taking that distance off. Now, if I can get this ball maybe started just a little bit further left, working back, it's going to be key. Better. Better. Oh, it's a little short on that one. All right, it took a little too much off that time. Let's see if we can mimic that shot right there and get a little more distance. That might have been too much, or I think that could be really good. That's that little fade I was going for. Get down in the gimme zone. All right, so perfect example of on-course practice. You can throw your mini down and you can check out data, work on this, you know, in-between shot that you might have. I mean, a 9-iron for me is too much on that shot. So I'm working a fade, trying to take off distance versus a pitching wedge that most likely could come up shorter. I'm, you know, swinging hard at it. So I love that about on-course, you know, practice. And then also you have your full-blown data that you can look at and get it all. So I mean, check it out. You know, whether you're looking at carry, backspin, side spin, launch angles, horizontal launch angles, all that. You could also have view, all right, pulled up on another monitor and be looking at the impact on your club, whatever it may be. Let's look at it really quick. I'll pull it up and show you guys. So if I were to pull up view, all right, which you guys can now see, I'll pull it over here, just kind of make it a little bit bigger. Let's say I had this on another monitor, okay, and I wanted to look at that club data. Well, there's that shot right there. So that's the actual impact. And I apologize. I just grabbed a 9-iron because that's what I thought I needed, and I actually have 3 dots on there. You only need 1 on the UNEEKOR Eye Mini, but you can still, regardless if you had no dots or dots, you can look at that video that I've showed you guys already. The video is really cool. I mean, look at that coming in. I just think that is so cool. I mean, it's such a clear image, and the way it scans is awesome too. Look at that take right off. You can look maybe just 1 frame before impact to see how your club delivery is. That club was working to the left, and I had the face just right, you know, to where it had just a little fade. I mean, that was just great. So, I mean, this is allowing me to work on my game. So it's really cool you have that ability. Now, let's go up and show you guys some chipping and putting. So I'm going to grab that ball. I'm going to move it here. Now, the undulation out here at Quail Hollow, let me tell you, it is crazy on the greens. But I think it'll be a good example, especially because maybe you're not wanting to putt, you're wanting to chip. But let's say it's a bunker shot. You came up short. It's only 14 yards. You kind of have to flop one up there, right? Well, let's see how we can do that. Open that face up. See how it's going to read this. Oh, look at that undulation. I mean, that is like just brutal. Thought that was a really good shot. So I carried that 6.9. And you'll see the carry was 14.3. 6.9 because of the bunker deduction. All right, so pay attention to that. A little more on it. Oh, just a little too much. This will show you how you could work on these deduction type shots out of the bunker as well. I feel like this is the play. I mean, you want to get that ball launching high. I mean, I have the face laid right down, so the Mini's doing a good job of reading that. I really tried to, yeah, see how I opened that one up too much? I went right under it. Thought I could maybe go fast under it. We can try that. Let's try opening it straight up and doing kind of a fast, low launch. Go across the ball. Yeah, just not getting enough speed on it. I could generate more speed if I wanted to, but it's reading that completely open face. So now let's kind of go to a different style of shot. Let's say that you are, oh, maybe you're down here and you're not going to be putting this because of, you know, undulation. Maybe you can't putt through a bunker. I mean, that's a pretty good one, right? You kind of need to do maybe more of a bump and run. So let's just do a normal chipping here. So it's 16 yards to the pin. See that roll out? It's a lower spinning, just kind of forward shot. I mean, the undulation almost seems like unrealistic on this thing. It's just unbelievable, these greens out here. Yeah, you have to like carry it up there. So maybe you do play a little higher shot to get it to stop on this. So let's play a little higher. We're not going to flop it like out of the sand. Just a little higher launch. See if that kind of stops a little more. Whew, just too much on it is all. That was a good play, just a little too much. Now I want to kind of get down in the distance so I can show you guys, you know, a very, very maybe short chip. Let's go ahead and switch holes too. We'll switch it up. I was on number 13 checking it out a little while ago. And I think what's interesting about 13 is there are these, like the rough is right here where this pin was. So you're not going to be putting this, right? So you better have your chipping game and you better have a launch monitor that can read very short chips. So I'm probably only going to want to carry this thing, you know, a couple yards. So let's maybe try to carry it, call it 5 yards or so maybe. Oh, it did a great job of picking that up. I carried it 4.3 yards on the Mini, as you can see. Carry was 4.1 because it's out of the rough. So we'll try to do that one more time. Hey, there's the applause. I actually got one right where I needed it. So now let's kind of watch this. This is what I thought was cool when I was kind of playing around in Quail Hollow. So let's go up here and see how it's downhill. So this is one where you're probably saying like, I mean, do I putt this? You know, like this thing's gonna roll like crazy. Like let's just put it right in the rough. All right, so now I'm in the rough. I'm probably not going to putt this thing. You know, crazy undulation. And let's say I need to only carry it maybe a couple yards. I'm going to aim to the right. I can aim right inside the sim. And look at it roll down. Now notice I carried it, what was that, 2.3 on the Mini. And it was downhill, so it actually carried a tiny bit longer. But 2.3 yards. Now let's see if we can really go extreme here. Let's see if we can carry this thing like a yard. I was able to do it. 1.3. And look at it run down. And that's a perfect example of where you guys would not want to have you know, something that you can't get down a little chip. If you're stuck in a position like this, you can't putt out of the rough. You know you're able to get this thing to carry, you know, only a yard. I mean, we can try to do under a yard. It's just for fun. Why wouldn't we, right? Barely hit it. It read it. 0.5, 0.4 actually on your eye mini, and it says 0.5 carry. So you know it's like rounding up. It was probably 0.4 something. Raw data. That's crazy. Look at the spin, 272. So it was actually able to read the backspin of 272. It's actually 483 backspin with 94 side spin is how it's reading it. And it says actually negative side spin of 94. So it actually, the total spin number only shows 272. That's kind of interesting how it does that. I'll have to check on how those numbers are calculated. But if I'm looking at raw data on the Mini, it's 483 backspin. Okay, so if I wanted to, you know, barely spinning that ball, I mean, it's a half-yard shot. You know, it's really cool. It can read that. Really cool. So let's go to putting. All right. I think this hole will be decent because the undulation's not too brutal. So let's look at it really quick. Let's just place a couple balls. I mean, that's not too bad. Some of these, I feel like it's pretty intense. So that's a 10-yard putt. I'm sorry, 10-foot putt. Let's try to make a couple of those first. This is 11 stimp. This is fast. I'm just going to aim a little right. You could aim in the software if you want to. I'm just going to aim a little right inside the sim and see how it works. There we go. Now my ball, because of my stimp in my studio, and you know the way it might bounce off of here and roll out and stuff, does not roll 10 feet for 11 stimp in the software. I had some people ask me that before. You do have to take that in consideration. That ball probably rolled about 8 feet or so total. All right, pause the video. Pause the video. I can't miss this feature, so we had to throw this in. Obviously, the UNEEKOR Eye Mini is in putting mode because we're on the green. I'm going to hit this putt and I'm going to show you guys a really cool feature that you have. You know, whether you're practicing your putting or you're out playing around, let's just go ahead and hit this putt really quick. All right, not a bad stroke. Check this out. I'm going to go over to my PC and I'm going to pull up the view software. So in this case, I just have it running in the background. You might have it on a separate monitor. We'll look in the lower right. You actually have a replay of your putter coming in and hitting the ball, and you can see the ball rolling. So let's go back a couple frames. You can watch the putter impact coming in. You can see where you're hitting it on the ball. You can watch the ball take off with any like skid. I mean, there is a little skid there. You can see before that logo starts rolling. And then it starts rolling. I mean, this is like a micro putting analysis, you know, video analysis. I've never had a side angle video to look at like this other than a swing camera. And I just had to show this in this video. I mean, that is some great frames per second, great clarity. I think the people are going to use this to improve their putting. So, all right, back to the other video. Oh, a little too fast. That's the difference of speed right there. Pretty good putt, but just a little too fast. All right, so now let's do a couple other putts. One, I think it's always smart to show a couple really short ones. So, you know, if you were to aim with software, you could just go right edge on a putt like this. It's only a 5-foot putt. So I'm only going to putt this really in my sim, maybe a couple feet. And I'm sorry, it's in putting mode, which I want to talk to you guys about. Notice how if you touch this ball, it's going to read it. It will read a tiny, tiny putt. So once it's locked in, be careful not to tap it an inch. It's going to read an inch, which is amazing. I mean, you could do tap-in putts on this. I mean, since we're in practice mode, I can actually show you that. So if you were playing no gimmies, for instance, downhill, and you needed to just tap in a putt, well, you can do that. You can just tap the ball and it's going in the hole. No gimmies. But I'm going to grab my phone really quick and I'll record a video so you guys understand putting mode. So I do want to show you when you're on the green, I'll take down my video. See how in the lower left it shows putting? Once it selects putting in the software, it sends that to the Mini. I'm going to go ahead and hit record here and show you that now you're seeing a P on the device. It's in a putting mode. So when it's not in putting mode, if you were to tap the ball an inch with like your 9-iron on accident, moving it around, it's not going to do that. But once it's in putting mode, it's sensitive. And so like if you wanted to manually put it in putting mode, like you wanted to do some short putting outside on a putting green, you could do that. You could hit putting and turn it into putting mode as well. All right, but it's automatically going to select putting mode from the GSPRO software, which is really nice. And it basically is like a more precise, reading. Now let's grab this. You will notice that it says side spin 99999. That's actually just a bug, that should be ignored. They're going to take that down. We won't see anything. It's not affecting anything, so don't worry about it. But let's go ahead and let's do some longer putts. I think that might be important to show, that it's able to, read the longer putt. What is that, 20 feet? Let's go a little bit longer, like we're, right kind of on the edge of the green there. So it's uphill, so it's playing like almost 26, 27 feet. Breaking just a little bit right to left. Break, break. Hey, I'm not that bad at putting. So that shows you a perfect example, and you can look actually on your because I don't have, it has ball speed, 7-mile-per-hour ball speed for that. And that would have carried essentially 26, 27 feet in the simulator with the uphill. Let's hit one more. I'm just aiming right inside the sim. I aimed a little further right that time and a little bit shorter. Wasn't able to do it. So you do need to get it there. Let's try that one more time. Go maybe a little bit harder. Get in. Oh! That's it though. That is it. All right, so I think that kind of gives you guys a really good idea of, look at 6.7 miles per hour. We knew that 7 mile per hour was that enough to get it in the hole. But I think this is kind of giving you a well-rounded look. I gave you some shots, gave you some chips, sand, short chipping, everything, putting. I mean, this thing at my first look playing GSPRO, it feels like I'm playing with my IXO. It really does. The data performance seems to be really solid so far. I'm going to keep diving into it. You got to understand, I've only had my hands on this unit for less than 24 hours at this stage. So I'm just trying to get you guys some more content, and some more demonstrations of the unit. If you have more questions, please comment below. I appreciate all of that. Anything you want to see, make sure you comment that, and just stay tuned because there will be a lot more coming soon.